Oh,
All right, well, welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since we had our last workshop because we took October off and did it at the district meetings. So welcome back. This is the final pillar workshop. And so we're covering two topics today, fundraising as well as Big Goal Accelerator projects, which is a component of the program pillar. I'm going to do fundraising, and I'm going to make it fairly brief because I want to give as much time as we can to talk about Big Goal Accelerator, since it's relatively new and we're still learning about it, and offered this opportunity for some like Q&A and troubleshooting and brainstorming and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to jump into fundraising. I'm probably not sharing anything that anyone on this call doesn't already know, but you never know who's going to watch a recording, right? So, all right. All right. Are my slides not working? Okay, here we go. So we're going to kind of start with a big picture and work our way down. So we're going to start with talking about Soroptimist International fundraising programs. And then we're going to talk about Soroptimist International of the America, SIA fundraising, and then we're going to talk about region, and then we're going to talk about our clubs. So let's start with Soroptimist International. Traditionally, Soroptimist International fundraising has been centered around the President's Appeal. So the SI president during her biennium will usually pick a project and offer clubs throughout the world to donate to that particular program. This is the current appeal under current SI president Marie McGuire is Opening Doors to a Bright Future, which is surrounded around reading, books, literacy, that kind of fun stuff. There's a caveat to this, which is that Soroptimist International has now formed a foundation, which will be essentially replacing the President's Appeal. So the foundation is now its own charitable trust entity, which makes it a little bit easier to collect and report on funds that are provided. And projects associated with this will be specific and aligned with the mission. For those of you that were at the convention in Dublin, we got an introduction to the foundation as well as a couple of projects that will be started by the foundation. And we will be invited as members, as clubs, as regions, to assist by donating to the foundation if we want to. And one of the programs that they're doing that I'm super excited about, that we got a kind of preview of at the convention, was a youth speech contest. I guess it's the best way I can describe it. We got to hear two winners, one from, I believe it was Ireland and Northern Ireland, who were absolutely amazing young women, very young women. And there's a kind of a trial project going on through all the federations, that I'm excited to see what happens with that and how we can participate in that in the near future. Okay, that's it for Soroptimist International. And then Soroptimist International of the Americas. This is what we hear most about and what we talk most about, I think, at district meetings, at our region conference, are the SIA fundraising programs. So these are kind of all the ways that SIA gets money. They get money from our dues. And I'm going to talk about each of these in a little more detail. They get money from Founders Pennies, from Club Giving, from Laurel Society, and then special appeals. So let's start with member dues. So these are paid when we first join the club or when we renew our membership every year. And the most recent dues were $76 per member. That was up $2 from previous years. They do not go up every year. They go up periodically. And these are not optional. we pay these with our dues to be a member in good standing. Founders pennies are optional, but highly encouraged, and are one of the criteria for the Best in Federation awards that are new to us this year. Founders pennies celebrate the founding of Soroptimist and support all of the Federation programs. Founders pennies, interesting, originated in 1943 after World War II to help clubs, especially in Europe, reestablish after they fell apart. So we add 6 cents to this every year. So it's 6 cents for every year that Soroptimist has been in existence. So going on 103 years. And normally we pay these as part of our dues, though a club could choose to collect and pay it differently. And our current, most recent, were $6.18 per member. And then club giving is another optional but highly encouraged, and also one of the criteria for Best in Federation awards. Club giving just asks each club to donate 10% or more of their locally raised funds. Normally, these can be submitted at any time in the year. Some clubs do it after each fundraising event, just so they don't forget. And some wait till the end of the year. And some clubs do this based on their previous year's fundraising, and that's okay. And then SIA gives recognition to clubs based on dollar amounts that are given. So 10% for one club might look very different than 10% for another club, depending on size and how much money you raise. Laurel Society is something we talk about a lot at region conference and district meetings as well. This is an individual giving program, whereas the others were based on clubs. To be a member of the Laurel Society, you have to have given $1,000 or more cumulative over your lifetime. And Laurel Society comes with individual levels of recognition, which I'll talk about in a second. Part of Laurel Society is the Stargazer program, which is monthly giving. Monthly contributions of any amount make you a Stargazer. And again, once you reach $1,000, you become an official member of the Laurel Society. But Stargazers are great too, on their way up to that $1,000. And then part of the Laurel Society is Laurel Legacy, which is naming Soroptimist in your estate and planned giving. And Laurel Society, completely voluntary, always encouraged, but always voluntary. And then these are the different levels. So get pens for each level. And some people have a lot of pens. Attaché 1,000, Envoy 2,500. You can read these, they work their way up. The higher you go, the bigger the gap between levels. So once you kind of start getting up there, it takes a while to reach the next level. But we have several people on this call that are well up in there, which is nice to see. And SIA tracks this, and you can track it yourself. If you go to the SIA member page and log in, you can see your own personal history of giving and what your cumulative total is. And then finally with SIA, there's special appeals. So at any given time, there could be a campaign or a request for a specific need. Most recently, this was the Dream Big campaign. So this was a special ask on top of the other SIA programs, specifically trying to raise money to help SIA kind of get more current with some technology, building operational things. So there's not an active one. The Dream Big campaign ended at the end of August. But there could be another one. And that's it for SIA. And then in the Sierra Pacific region, we don't do as much fundraising. We try to keep it at a minimum, so we're not competing with SIA and we're not competing with club activities. So we kind of fall in the middle there. We do collect dues for each member. We collect $25 per member, and that goes to our region operations. We also collect $5 per member for furthering the dream. And these are usually submitted at the time you do your dues at the beginning of the year, includes these as well. We do occasionally raffles at the conference, or, last year we did the centerpiece raffles, the year before we did baskets. And we can decide where we want the money to go. Last year, the money we raised went to Furthering the Dream, which is our region program. At our next conference, that will be happening as well. So we'll be raising funds for Furthering the Dream. And then I put Dream Bingo here. It's a little out of place, but I put it here because it is something we do within our region. But all the proceeds for the Dream Bingo winners goes into their personal individual Laurel Society account. So the region doesn't make any money off of that. It's just a fun means and way to encourage people to participate in Laurel Society. And then finally, club fundraising. And this is really where we spend the most of our time and energy, by holding fundraising events. And this is a huge part of what our clubs do. They're usually fun and usually a lot of work. And the proceeds from any club fundraising generally used for programs. But as long as you're being upfront about how the funds will be used, you can use them for operations or other things, as long as you're not telling the public you're using it for Live Your Dream and then using it for something else. And then some clubs, but not all, also add an amount into their annual dues that the club keeps for their operations. So that varies by club. And this is where we get to be really fun and creative. And as you all know, throughout our region, we have a wide assortment and array of fundraising activities that are all amazing and fun. And just finally, how funds get used. So it's Sir Optimus International level. The funds go directly to the global programs that they're supporting. We're not supporting operations of Sir Optimus International. For SIA, the funds go to Federation programs, member services, leadership, development, technology, administration, operations, all the things it takes to operate SIA. Remember that we get money back from SIA, so all that money we give, a lot of it comes back to us in terms of our region Live Your Dream Awards, Live Your Dream Awards for new clubs that have chartered. They get $1,000 from SIA for their first year. Also club grants. So many opportunities for the money to come back to us, depending on how we do. Within the region, everything that we give to our region either goes to Furthering the Dream or region operations. And the club level, again, you can decide where the money goes and how it gets used. But most of our fundraising programs at the club level are specifically designated for our programs. Live Your Dream, Dream It, Be It, or any Big Goal Accelerator project that you have in your club, or other projects in your club that don't quite count for any of those, but are still worth doing. This is my final slide. Be kind, be generous. It all goes to a good cause. I'm going to end there.
Judi, you did have one question, and
yes,
that was from Peggy Montgomery. If a member joins in the middle of the years, are dues prorated? That was after the SIA dues presentation.
They are. It depends on when you join. So I believe, and Tana can probably correct me if I'm wrong, I believe anything up through the end of December is the full rate, and then after that it's prorated.
And I know that at least our club has something similar with our own dues.
Yeah, I know that so most components of the annual dues are set. So the SIA membership due is set, founders pennies are set, region member dues are set, region Furthering the Dream is set. So anything above those that your charge as part of your annual membership dues goes to your club. So that's where clubs will have some leeway on whether that is truly a fundraising source or whether they're trying to keep the costs lower to encourage more new members, and then they raise money for the club operations in a different way. So it really varies by clubs. There's quite a range of annual dues, I believe.
One other question from me actually is with our region, when we award Live Your Dream awardees at our region level, where does that money come from?
That money comes from SIA, and we get a number of awards and funds based on how many awards and how much money we gave out the previous year. So the more we give out collectively through the region, the more money we get back from SIA. So at the 24 conference, for example, we have one additional award over how we did over what we gave last year and what we got from SIA because we did so amazing. So we want to do amazing again and keep that extra award.
Cool.
All right, anything else? Any other questions? That was really quick, I know, but the intent was just to kind of go over some terminology because we throw these things out at conference and are trying to do better about making sure we're defining everything, especially for our new members. All right, with that, I am going to turn this over to Beth Stochl, who is now our program chair and is, you all met her at district meeting, and is going to lead us through some additional discussion to carry forward from the district meetings on big goal accelerator projects.
Let's see. And hopefully everyone can see the screen. Now comes the part where I can't see you guys at all, but
but I can now, so
good, as long as you can. And if there are questions that come up, feel free to put them in the chat or raise your hand, and Judi can let me know. For a lot of you, again, this will probably be somewhat of a recap if you were at a district meeting. But again, we've got people who weren't at district meetings who are on this already, and then people who will be watching this in the future, hopefully. So as Judi shared, I'm Beth Stochl. I am the current year program chair for the Sierra Pacific region. I have been a member of SI Series for about 10 years, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it and enjoyed being part of the Sierra Pacific region on a broader level as well. So what I'm going to be talking about is the big goal and a little bit about how we got there. And then the big question about what are big goal accelerator projects, and working through if some of our thoughts on some projects will fit that. So what is the big goal? The big goal, and I'm using notes from Sam Buccino. We like to not reinvent as much as possible. And so I'm thankful that she did a great job on this part. So our big goal is to invest in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education. And it is a 10-year goal from 2021 through 2031. We're going to go through a little bit of a history lesson. So in 2010, some of you, Seroptimist wasn't even in your vocabulary. Some of you were getting ready and getting to know more about increased collective impact. Federation-wide, every club was focusing more closely on primarily our Live Your Dream awards as a strategy to really help people know about Seroptimist, and that and our brand, that Seroptimist would mean the same thing no matter where in the world you are. In particular, with Seroptimist International of the Americas. So in 2014-15, that's when, as you can see from the picture, the Dream It Be It program came out, and we launched that program, and we then were able to really multiply our collective impact by working with teenage girls who could benefit from the program of mentoring and guidance, helping prepare them for careers. At that same time, Soroptimist was really focusing on branding, what makes us Soroptimist. And so they worked on a survey process and trying to figure out, okay, what's a unified goal that all of Soroptimist International, the Americas, could support, and that would be working along the lines of increasing our collective impact. Overwhelmingly, the choice of members was to invest in the dreams of 500,000 women and girls through access to education. Again, it's a 10-year period. We are in year 3 of our big goal, and it is a SMART goal. So any of you who have the Dream It, Be It program, you know that that's one of the components of that could be offered to the girls, thinking about SMART goals. Specific, it's educational opportunities for women and girls. Measurable, it's for 500,000. So we say 500,000, but it's 500,000 women and girls. It's a real number. It's attainable, a little bit of a reach, but it's also, we think we can do that. It's relevant. It's preparing women to support themselves and their families. It's time-bound, 10-year process. It is a SMART goal. And though some of us are data-driven, many of us are more people-driven, but the data that we get really helps Soroptimists know whether we're achieving the goals that we have set out. And as part of that, we have reports that we send into Soroptimist International of the Americas, or SIA. So you have to realize our support staff at SIA, they take in all the results from all of our programs, which means data from over 1,000 clubs in 19 countries and territories and 6 languages, which is just incredible to me. But that's what they do. It's our responsibility to report what we're doing as members of the local clubs. And I know that I've got the numbers from the last 2 years, and it is pretty incredible the ways that we've increased, and I'll tell you more about that as we go. The other thing is that our numbers, because we're focused on women and girls and education, and we have this number, the United Nations is very interested in what we're doing, and they know who we are because of how we can quantify our impact. Just so you know, these are a couple examples of some of the infographics that are available on the SIA website. So go to soroptimist.org. And you can find these graphics. So you can use them all sorts of places. It's great to hand out. I know it's easy to understand and easy to read. Now, our numbers, SIA's numbers for the last year, 2022 through 2023, we had a 14% increase in Live Your Dream Awards, and it was a total of about 2,200 women. About 19,000, a little over 19,000 girls participated in Dream It, Be It, which was a 64% increase, which was just incredible. And Big Goal Accelerator projects, they had a 42% increase. Well, that's because we're all learning about this. And that was close to 14,000 girls. So, sorry, women and girls.
Women and girls.
Yeah. So how do we work on the big goal at our own level? And it looks like there's somebody in the chat. Is that something, Judi, that I need to see? Oh, no. Oh, sharing the PowerPoint. That was it. Okay. So the next is how do we at the club level address this big number of 500,000. Obviously, in little series, we aren't going to be able to reach 500,000. We've only got, 40,000 or so in our town. So the main programs, and again, I know most of you on this already know about these programs, but I'll say it because hopefully there'll be some new members or more recent members that are learning more about our programs. Will be coming and listening to this later. So one is Live Your Dream Awards. And the Live Your Dream Awards is a unique educational award for women who provide the primary financial support for their families. It gives these women the resources they need to improve their education, skills, and employment prospects. And Loretta knows all about that. So if you have any questions, she's the person to talk with. Dream It, Be It. We've increased the number of girls participating in Dream It, Be It, career support for girls. This is a program with certain components that help girls achieve their education and career goals. So thinking about what is my goal? What's my dream? How do I make a goal? All sorts of questions leading to careers. And then, and it's designed to help them break through some of their cycles of poverty, violence, and abuse. Well, the big question is our big goal accelerator projects. What are those? And how do we even create them? Well, we do have some clubs who had big goal accelerator projects last year. Here's my, so kudos to Clovis, Modesto, San Francisco, the Sierras, and Watsonville. They all had some form of big goal accelerator projects that were recognized at Seroptimus International of the Americas. So we're going to walk through eligibility. What I'm going to do is walk through all the pieces of it, and then we're going to pause on a slide that has the three major components, and that's when we're going to just open it up for thinking about, well, some of our potential projects. So let's go to eligibility. And why is my there? Okay, so eligibility. Your work only with women and girls who are facing obstacles, and we'll define that. You want to increase or provide access to formal education with the goal of economic empowerment. It does have to be reported, but it cannot be one of the DREAM programs. And why is that? It's because we're already counting them towards the big goal. So this is the component that maybe you're already doing scholarships, for example, but they aren't focused on women who are and girls who are facing obstacles. So again, we'll talk some more about that. What's not eligible? Okay. We have projects that are near and dear to our hearts. Maybe we are raising awareness about any topic. I know our club does something for domestic violence, for example. Maybe we beautified some space in our community, which our community loves and we love, but it's not meeting this big goal accelerator project eligibility. General social empowerment is not eligible. Projects that serve anyone other than women and or girls who are facing obstacles. Donations to another organization, and any projects that aren't Seroptimus driven. And in thinking about Seroptimus driven, it's when you have when we as Seroptimus have hands on the project. So let's go to obstacles. I think most of you know these or have seen these obstacles. So poverty, gendered violence, racism, teen pregnancy, being a foster care youth, being a single parent, substance abuse disorder. So those are all things that are obstacles. Those are just examples. There may be mental illness, a wide variety of other things. What are eligible project categories? Well, definitely scholarships and education awards, providing necessary items for education, maybe computers, internet, transportation, paying fees for college prep exams, applications, or professional licensing, classes that are focused on job, skills, or education training. Okay, here's the slide we're going to stop on for a little while. So key eligibility summarized. Again, thinking of these three things. One, it's the right population. It's serving women and girls who are facing obstacles. Two, it's the right focus. It increases access to formal education. And three, it's the right people, meaning that's us. So it's completed by Soroptimist in hands-on project. And of course, all of those, any project is going to have to get reported to Soroptimist International of the Americas, and so that it can be counted towards the big goal. So let's explore some of the projects that maybe you guys have. Looks like Pat already has her hand up. So Pat, go ahead.
Well, I wasn't going to chat about Watsonville's Accelerator projects, although they are largely scholarships.
Okay.
And working with the high school, they actually screen the gals so that while they may have decent GPAs, they screen them particularly for the eligibility requirements. My question, Beth, is, and you spoke about this at district meeting, was one club, I think, funds the testing fees for GEDs.
Oh, yes.
And does that fit the big accelerator goal?
Definitely. Well, again, right population. So as long as they're serving women and girls, the focus is on education. Yeah, definitely getting GEDs. If the Soroptimist Club is directly supporting them, so you aren't giving it to another organization for them to pay for the the testing. Yeah, that all fits. As far as I know, that it sounds right to me. Anybody else have, or do you have a question with that?
I do.
Okay.
Because we're interested in that. One of our members happens to be the director of adult education for basically Santa Cruz County. And when we spoke about that program, she was interested because she knows of the needs of some of the students that she's working with. My question is, perhaps if you could share with me what club has done this. Is there an application process? Is it strictly, we've got some money, Dr. Bilicich, will you figure out who deserves, the GED, or what is the mechanisms that club goes through in order to fund somebody?
That's a good, the example that was given in the presentation from SIA, it was SI Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually do it for women who are incarcerated.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think you would probably be able to use a similar criteria.
Okay.
Oh, Jan, it looks like Jan is, yeah, anybody's welcome to speak up.
Just to piggyback, because I was wanting to question something that you said anyway, Beth, when you said it has to go to the individual and not an organization. If someone's incarcerated, my guess is that club doesn't give the person who's incarcerated the money, but it's funneled either directly to whoever's providing the GED test or to the wherever they're incarcerated and they do it. So
That's,
I would think that it's not a blanket statement that you can't. It's the same with our scholarships. We learned
yes,
the hard way that we can't give someone the scholarship money.
right.
We send it to the institution that they're going to be enrolling in once they.
But you go through a process of
Yes.
evaluating
Yes.
and deciding who to give that to.
Right.
And so that's the distinction. There is an example at one of the district meetings. I was asked, and I did specifically ask SIA about this. There is an example of a club that provides money for mental health services. They for for school age women and girls, I guess. But the Seroptimus Club doesn't do any evaluation of it. It's given to the school district, and they don't know who it's given to. They don't, so they don't have control. It's different than scholarships in that way.
Right.
And I did ask Jackie about that, and she said, yeah, that is the example of giving to another organization.
Right. Too much of a blanket thing rather than pinpointing an individual.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess, let's see, the authentic coach had something, but Linda, you've got your hand up now, so.
I do. So just, and I know you and I talked about this some, Beth, but just to clarify, if at any time in past years they've been in Dream It Be It or have been a Live Your Dream recipient, then they cannot be part of one of these big goal accelerators, correct?
Yes, and I did specifically ask Jackie about that today. One of the interesting things I said, well, what if you have a pretty big Dream It Be It program and you really don't know the names of all the people? And she gave an example of, I think it was in Taiwan, they had or Japan, they had 1,000 girls in their Dream It Be It. And she said, you aren't going to know the names of everybody. Or if you have a pretty big Dream It Be It, like Twain Hart, I know they provide for pretty much all the girls in, I think, when they're sophomores. So she said, it's being reasonable about whether they're part of Dream It Be It. If it is a Dream It Be It program and you have a scholarship that you're giving to somebody who, because they're at Dream It Be It, that would not count towards big goal accelerator projects. Counts towards Dream It Be It, no problem, but not towards the other. Yeah. Yeah, Rachel.
Sorry, I can't figure out where to raise my hand, which I should know this because
your hand works, Rachel.
That's okay. The hand works.
So,
I saw it.
I tried to do a big goal accelerator project, ended up being a more Dream It Be It project. It was at the alternative education school in Oakdale. But now that those girls are all Dream It Be It, what we did as a club, we changed the criteria for the scholarships that we give. And we also, I'm going to create a different application for girls, and they have to answer 3 questions. It'll be something like, what's an obstacle that you're facing? How did you overcome this obstacle? And make it where it's specific to the Big Goal Accelerator project. We're also offering a scholarship for the girls who are attending the alternative education program. So if we give them a scholarship, they went to Dream It Be It, are they not eligible for? How do we not?
Yeah. My understanding from Jackie is that they would not be eligible. I have a question though about the example that you gave about the criteria. Is that for all school? I mean, any school that you have?
Well,
where you're asking the 3 questions?
I spoke to the counselor at OHS, Oakdale High School, and like right now when girls apply, or when they used to apply for the scholarship for Seroptimus, it was more of a merit-based, like what is your GPA, how many volunteer hours do you have? we're still taking applicants from that pool of girls. And of course, those are not going to count towards a big goal. But I found out that there's scholarships where, do you tell jokes? Here, answer these 3 questions about what a joke teller you are. Do you knit? Answer questions. And so it gives an opportunity for people who don't volunteer and don't have that high GPA, because girls who are in that demographic, they're not going to volunteer.
Right.
So from my understanding, any school, anywhere, like you can just say, here's our scholarship criteria. And then they go to whoever it is that's in charge of the scholarships at the high school. But we do have one designated scholarship for the alternative education kids.
Right.
We can't double count the girls.
Yeah. And I'll piggyback a little bit on that and then come to you, Emma. My understanding from Jackie and from different people that I spoke with at the district meetings, a lot of like our school district has one form for all the scholarships that everybody fills out. So anybody who's wanting a scholarship in any kind of, whether they're future farmers or nursing or whatever. And then the schools will separate them depending on whatever your criteria is. A lot of us already are giving scholarships, based on whatever criteria our club is using. So some clubs are thinking, well, maybe we'll have at least a couple. If we give 2 scholarships, one will be targeted to women, to girls who have obstacles, whatever that is, whatever we decide is that obstacle, and the other one will just do what we've always done. So that's one way to work it. I mean, you could give all of your money to women who, and girls who have obstacles, but it's what fits your club and your community the best, I think. Now, go ahead.
We found that a lot of the girls who do have obstacles don't fill out that general form, which is why we were trying to find another way around it. Because it is, they don't want to put, my GPA is not my cat. Sorry, I just saw a cat. It's not mine. Right. They don't want to put that. So that was the benefit of kind of offering a different way to apply.
Yeah. Gail?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna go to me?
Yeah. Just trying to unmute. I'm sorry. It's.
Oh, no. I mean me.
Yeah,
Emma.
Emma first.
Actually, I should do Emma first. Yes, that's
sorry.
right.
Go ahead.
You moved on my screen and I forgot. Sorry.
Sorry about that.
It's not your fault. Go ahead, Emma.
So I have a question regarding so giving funding for like maybe a college application.
Mm-hmm.
What if we had given those women a Live Your Dream award, but now they were doing the Live Your Dream while they were for their bachelor's, but then they wanted to go forward and go for like a master's program. Would this be something that could be applicable for that when they want to do a graduate program?
No, it'd be the same thing, Emma. So we have that issue with Furthering the Dream, right? We are trying to target the women who are going on to a graduate program or are just finishing up. And we do give preferential treatment, this doesn't sound quite right, to previous Live Your Dream winners, but it does put us in that situation of if we're giving a Furthering the Dream award to a previous Live Your Dream winner, then we can't count it. So
okay,
the same.
And then I have a second part of that is if we know of girls that want to apply to college who did not do the Dream It Be It program, could we provide funding for their college application?
Sure.
Yes. And that would be applicable.
Yes.
That could be a big goal accelerator project. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All And we also have a
And-
question in the chat, Beth, after Gail.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Hey, My comments
Okay.
real quick, because my club does have a big accelerated goal project, and we give scholarships. Depending on how much money we have a bequest, we give up to 2, and then sometimes if we have extra money from fundraising, we'll just give a third one that's not under the bequest. But 40% is financial need, and 30% is grades, and 30% is community volunteerism. But some of them have little brothers and sisters that they have to take care of because the parents work. And so we ask for an essay about who they admire. And usually the essay is always about their mother or their grandmother, and they talk about watching their mother who's got cancer of the throat or something, and how she struggles, but she keeps going on. And you can learn a lot about the obstacles they face by asking for this little essay that doesn't have to be more than 250 words.
Yep.
Yep. I know, reading the scholarship applications from series last year, it was the first time that they had a full year after COVID, and just hearing their stories about people who had died, their family members who had died during COVID, and other struggles that they had is just kind of, yeah. And again, it's a short paragraph, if that, and but you get a real sense of their need and what obstacles they're facing. So let's see, can you provide more information about paying for internet and transportation? Is internet paid for the year or bus fare for a semester? Good question. I have no clue. Any other, anybody want to take a stab at that one? Why?
This is Gloria, by the way, Beth. I'm sorry.
I figured it was Gloria.
Yeah.
I saw authentic coach, so
yeah, I apologize, but when you were speaking, I just got to thinking, well, internet is usually a monthly bill. So is it being paid by the month, or is it being paid for the year? So I'm like, well, if you're paying for transportation, if it's bus, do you give them bus pass for a quarter, a semester? So I didn't know. So that's why I asked the question.
That's a good question. Gail.
But I'm looking at SPRoptimus.org. I'm looking at the Big Goal Accelerator description, and it says, what are the obstacles? And bullet point number 2 says providing necessary items for education like computers, internet, transportation,
right,
paying fees for college prep exams, college applications, entrance exams, or professional licensure. It does qualify.
Yeah.
It doesn't say,
It doesn't say how
1
much.
month
Yeah.
versus a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be like Christmas gifts to,
Yeah.
That's true.
A group of foster
That's
girls.
true.
And get your foster kid program and say, how many girls do you have that need help with transportation? Here's the flipper card or whatever your county does.
Right. But I was thinking more in terms of internet, because if they need it, this is me, I'm thinking, well, if someone's going to pay for my internet for a month, and then I don't have internet for, the other 11 months. So that was where I was going with that. Are we, if anyone has done that, what does it cover?
Gloria, I think as long as you've got to think about the 3 things. 1, obstacles, and obviously those are those would be obstacles for a certain population. 2, are you furthering their formal education? So that's the big question. So if they need internet for their where they are in college or high school, or and then bus fare, the same things. So as long as it's aimed towards helping them with their formal education, that would be a Big Goal Accelerator project.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's great. I'm thinking about how could you do that?
Give a whole bunch of people $25 for the bus.
Yeah. How much is it in San Francisco for a bus pass? Do you know?
It's a bus pass. I'm not sure because I'm a senior. So I pay less, but students are like $1.50. Seniors are about $1.50. Regular people about $5. It's good for the bus
$2.50.
because it's for a couple hours, I think, or something. Or
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, those
The
are
internet thing, if you've got a club, you know, and if every member of that club pays $25 towards internet fees, I mean, how much are internet fees? In the
So there's a huge range.
It's
Yeah.
huge, yeah.
I think mine are $50 a month. But you know, if everybody throws money in the hat,
Yeah.
you can manage it.
Yeah.
Because what's $50 is you go out to dinner, you're going to spend $50 if there's at least if there's two of you.
Yeah.
Right. Give up
Or
the dinner.
even if you aren't paying the whole thing, maybe you can pay for part of it.
Mhm.
Or I like thinking about a semester or a quarter, you know, if that would help them for that amount of time, that could be a possibility.
Mhm. Because if they're in the school, think about it, then if they're on semesters, you could pay for a semester and,
Yeah.
you know, see how well they do. I don't know if they could come back again and ask for that same thing, but just, you know, I ask these weird questions, so I'm just curious.
That's a great
That's all.
question. I will say that when I talked with Jackie, and I'm looking for my notes from my talk with her. When I talked with Jackie at SIA, I said, okay, so what are some of the main reasons that clubs aren't receiving aren't getting credit for a big goal accelerator project? What are some of the barriers that you're seeing? And she said, really, the access to education is the biggest reason that clubs are not receiving credit as a big goal accelerator project. She also did say that when you submit your report, you should get an email relatively soon, probably the same day or at least within 24 hours, unless it's a weekend, that it's been received. And if you don't get that, make sure that you contact SIA because, and I remember I had to do this with the Seroptimus Celebrating Success. I kept thinking I had submitted it, but it wasn't submitted. And so they said, hey, you know, we didn't get this. So if there are any issues, you should get an email immediately after. And if you don't, definitely contact SIA. There was one other example that I thought was kind of interesting that she gave me. And she was talking with another region and this was about the focus on education. So one club had an image consultant, you know, that helps prepare women and girls as they're going for interviews and whatever, you know, as a profession. But she was offering her services and she gave classes to women and girls. And the club also offered professional clothing. So it was a combination of those that said, yeah, this is a big goal accelerator project. How long are we going, Judi? I want to be careful about people's time. Are there other potential projects that people are thinking about? Rachel, yeah.
You still can't find the hand raise you thing. So I was thinking about doing the computers, but again, it's for the girls who are already in Dream It Be It. I'm gonna do it anyways. They'll just be part of Dream It Be It. Because when a kid graduates from school, they no longer have access to those Chromebooks.
Right.
So they have to share computers at the computer lab. And I think at the alternative education, none of those girls have computers. And there's only like 4 girls who are actually going to like a MJC or, you know, a junior college of some kind. So they would probably benefit the most from it.
Mm-hmm.
But
you might want to see. You may want to see if the schools, I know here they're offering, they sell them at a really discounted, the Chromebooks, the used Chromebooks, they'll sell them at a really discounted rate. So that may be something that the school district might even do. I don't know.
like sell it to us?
or sell it to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Student, okay, because then we can buy it for them. And then I
Yeah.
looked up the cost for a GED in California is $165, which is quite a bit,
Whoa, that
right?
is,
And it's more, but if you want to take the whole test at once, 165.
yeah,
And that would be something because I think it's like 1 out of 10 kids don't graduate, and then how many of those are women or girls?
yeah, yeah.
So that's like a very doable project.
Mhm, mhm. And you may even, again, similar to scholarships, you may want to focus in on who you want to provide that to.
Mhm. Well, I'm assuming if they're needing their GED, that in and of itself is a hardship.
Yes,
Yeah.
You didn't graduate
yes,
high school, that's a hardship.
yeah,
So I think
yeah,
that would qualify.
yeah. Educators on the call, I did have a question from a club about AVID students. Do you know whether they would be considered having obstacles?
What kind of students?
AVID,
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 avid.
AVID, sorry.
And yeah,
You can tell I don't know anything about it.
yes, they would be facing, that's how they're identified for avid. So
What are
yeah.
some of the things with AVID that,
Um,
is it poverty and,
I don't know that poverty has to, like, if they have hardships in their family, if they
okay,
know they're struggling, there's a variety of things. There are definitely students that have been in special ed and are in AVID, and
okay,
so a variety of things. But
okay,
yes,
thank
we've
you.
invited AVID students to join our Dream It Be It. That's been one of our targets also sometimes. So
Yeah, and I know you, yeah, go ahead.
Beth, I had sent a couple of questions to you about accelerators. I don't know when you
Oh,
emailed.
yeah, you did send me something and
Okay, so real quick, if I can
yeah,
ask.
go ahead.
So, like a big thing in our club are the dream bags for FBI.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were trying to figure out a way, if we were to put information, I mean, we don't necessarily have contact with those women, but if we put information for them about different things that we might offer to help them, like we were thinking finances, there's it's called Self-Help Credit Union, and there's a woman that had offered to do classes, but we wouldn't know if they attended or went. I mean, do you
Yeah.
see a way we could, I don't know, we feel like that's a great population for us to reach out, and they're not being counted anywhere, but we're not sure exactly how
Hmm.
to be able
That's
to
kind
do
of the
that.
catch here, right? So I look at this as, this is my Judy's opinion and no one else's. I think that, in light of the focus of a few years ago of only do dream projects, live your dream, dream it, be it, that was it. And then SIA was kind enough to listen to us and said, oh, you are doing more stuff. That is mission oriented. Let's add that to our program list, which is where Big Goal Accelerator came from. And that is our mission, is about education, right? And there are all these other amazing things. We talked about domestic violence. We have a lot of clubs that partner with domestic violence shelters.
Right.
We would never want to say, let's not do that. But
Right.
and the dream bags is very much like that. We have several clubs doing that. And I would say maybe give it some time. Like you can try to make it work, obviously. But I won't be surprised if SIA comes out in 2 more years and gives us a little more leeway with some of those kinds of things.
Okay.
Programs that are certainly making a difference for women. And we have numerous examples, but don't quite fit the criteria yet. I'm not going to be surprised if 2 years from now they let us take credit for those. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that's going to happen. But
I do know that Jackie gave me an example, and you talking about this reminded me of like providing information generalized information maybe on trafficking or something else, and then hoping that somebody calls. But she said it's too many ifs.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I
And
think.
yeah,
With the bags, maybe if we're just, I don't know. I suppose
it's a
we
great
could,
program.
it
you know.
is. And
Yeah.
it would be great if we could provide education to those women that are receiving those. But, I think they're going all kinds of different places, and I just don't know. Then the other one is, and Judi is aware of this, but how, if we worked with the clothing closet that the Clovis Community College is doing, and we provide, I actually took clothes over there the other day, and they're only open a day and a half a week. And if we were able to provide time to go in there and help keep it open for, it serves both women and men, but there are a lot of women that are, need something to interview, and they give them an outfit and all. Would that qualify if we're doing?
I think it's borderline based on some of the program stuff. It's worth asking about.
Okay.
I think if you were offering maybe offering something almost like that image consultant, or something where do you need help with interview skills, so offering that to,
In addition to the getting that.
right.
Okay.
And they're great. That would be a great pool of people to offer it to.
Right.
Somebody else, that reminded me though, somebody else at, I think it was at the District 3 meeting, they said, how about if we did something for the women who applied for Live Your Dream but didn't get it? That maybe there's something there as well, because they probably still have needs, but they just for some reason didn't qualify. Yeah. And thinking Loretta had given us some examples earlier of people who, or no, actually maybe it was Julie, of people who weren't the primary wage earner. That's not a criteria for this. Are they facing obstacles? Well, yeah. Are they trying to further their education? Yes. Are we the ones assisting them? Yes. So that could be a big goal accelerator. So it's kind of shifting it just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. So your applicants that don't quite qualify for Live Your Dream, which is one of the criteria, it can't be a dream program, then you can offer them something, and it would count here. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah. Rachel.
Yeah, I had like 5 or 6 ladies that I talked to who don't have dependents, but they were under 25, and I just I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Mhm.
What do we do for them? I don't know, but maybe something similar to Live Your Dream. However, I mean, if they don't qualify, then even if it's the same component where you're offering money for them to go to school, that's okay.
That definitely would count.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be huge, just focused.
Some kind of money, and then that is great. And what about, so like Oakdale, we do a community baby shower, and it's not really, we partner with Center for Human Services,
right?
But I was thinking if we helped take it over more, because we fund it. They lost their funding for the whole thing, so we fund it completely. They just find the women that are needing the services, and then we provide the baby shower. And if we made one component of the baby shower, how to get back to work after having baby, something like that, or how to, if that would also qualify.
Yeah, similar to what Linda was saying, maybe offering a separate, or either something about interviewing, or how to get back into the job market after having a kid or something. Maybe that could work. Yeah, it's possible. And I will say that SIA, Jackie, and some of you have been talking with her more than I ever have even. She said, if anybody has any questions, I mean, you can funnel them through me, but you can ask her directly too. So
you can ask her, or you can file a report. I mean, if it's something you're already doing and you're not sure,
true,
you can file the report, and they will contact you and say, I mean, I've seen this, Beth has seen it. They'll ask questions and try to help you know, if they'll give kind of a final answer. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. Or
Yeah.
make suggestions. If you do this, it would probably count.
Jan.
You know, I'm just kind of thinking as I'm hearing all of this, not a specific question, but you know, our Dream It Be It curriculum is absolutely outstanding. All of the different chapters and components that we have. And there are a lot of women, including myself, who wish that at some point in my life I had gone through all of that curriculum. It seems to me like some of the people that Linda's talking about and some of the other clients who are out of high school, well out of high school, but when you're talking about putting them in some sort of a workshop situation, I wonder if we could borrow some of that curriculum would be excellent for them and kind
Love
of
that idea.
starting their life all over again.
I
Well, you
like
certainly
that.
could do SMART goals.
I love that
mean,
idea. Yeah.
That's something that's so,
Believe in the dream board would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
all of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
All of it. But you know, managing their life, their health, stress reduction, all of those, all the things that we offer through Dream It Be It. It
Mhm.
just seems like we could create
Yeah.
yet another.
You don't have
little-
to create the content.
Right. It's there.
It's really good content.
It's
That's a
there.
great idea, Jan.
That is. I like that. Rachel had a question, I guess, about what about kids on IEPs? And I don't know anything about that. So
I
Linda?
do.
I figured just somebody would.
Yeah. So I have had quite a few girls that are on IEPs be part of the Dream It Be It program. Absolutely. If they have an individual education plan, they are facing obstacles. So they're a great candidate. We have even once or twice had girls that had Down syndrome be part of the program, and they just had an aide with them and we adjusted, you know, for them. So absolutely, you wouldn't want to discriminate against them.
Well, no, we actually had a girl that's on, because my son is on an IEP, so I know the inclusion specialist. And then she called and it's like, hey, I have a girl. Okay, so I don't want to disclose too much of what, I don't know what the roles are. But anyway, so it was really fun. Like, she was very high functioning, but she got to attend. But what if we gave scholarships for kids on IEPs, or is that like a thing that wouldn't be allowed because it's
Well, there's a whole confidentiality
Right.
piece there from a legal standpoint. So you would need to discuss it with the parent and the
Okay.
team at that school. Yeah.
okay?
Let me transition back to the PowerPoint. Let's see if I can find it again here. This is where we stopped. Let me share. And the reason is, so I think at least thank you for sharing all the different questions and potentials. I love that Linda's in this picture on the right, the right people. Okay, so hopefully this can keep going. I'm pressing my hand button and we'll see if it keeps going. And maybe I need to do this. Sorry, this is not moving forward. I know what I'll do. Can I stop sharing? I'll stop sharing for a minute. I'll try this a different way. Okay, I'm going to share the screen again. I will go back to this and see if I can do it again. Okay, that looks like it's in the right place at least. Okay, I'll just have to do this without the graphics. So as we talked about in our big goal targets for each region, you know, 500,000 is a lot of people, and obviously our region isn't going to reach that tomorrow. So what SIA has us thinking about is doing each region doing an annual increase of the number of women in Live Your Dream, in Dream It Be It, and for the Big Goal Accelerator projects. So it's 10% for Live Your Dream, 25% increase for Dream It, Be It, and 10% for Big Goal Accelerator. Well, what does that mean in our region? In our region last year, we provided 135 Live Your Dream Awards. We had 460 Dream It, Be It participants. And we had 38 women and girls through Big Goal Accelerator projects that we assisted. So using those, the 10%, the 25%, and the 10%, we would want to add 13 more Live Your Dream, 115 Dream It, Be It, 4 Big Goal Accelerator. And that total then becomes 765. I think we can probably shoot for 1,000. So I'm going for that. I do know, and that would only be, that would be an increase of 367 women and girls from last year. Well, I know that Twainhart, for example, they got snowed out for their Dream It, Be It program last year. So they didn't have it at all. This year they're going to have the girls that didn't come last year, plus the girls that are supposed to come this year. So I already know that there'll be some increase there. And in talking with different people about their numbers from last year, they had done more the previous year and less this last year. So for Live Your Dream and some of the others, now that we know more about the Big Goal Accelerator projects, I think we're going to do really well with that as well, because I think all of our clubs are, you know, we're working on how do we get some of those. So I think we're going to be able to meet that. Yes, my dear.
I have some additional math.
Okay.
So I shared this at the workshop conference last year.
Oh, okay.
Just to break it down. Okay. So if we're trying to reach 500,000 over 10 years, that's 50,000 a year. If you divide that by the number of clubs in SIA, that's 42 per club per year. So 42, and obviously this is a generalization. There are big clubs and small clubs, but a combination of Live Your Dream, Dream It, Be It, and Big Goal Accelerator. If we were able to average reaching 42 per year, we would meet the goal with no problem.
Yep. And if you think about it from adding to, in order to keep going, I think we definitely can. 1,000 doesn't sound bad for next year, and that's just our region. That would be really cool to be able to go and say, hey, we did this. And I know that I'm really proud of what we do. I know we can do more. And something that I told our club just recently, I love that Seroptimist is hands-on. A lot of other service clubs, they just raise money and they give the money away. But we're, you know, we have Dream It, Be It. We offer, in addition to the scholarship or the awards for Live Your Dream, we often are doing extra things with our Live Your Dream recipients. Not all service clubs are able to say that. So I think with the Big Goal Accelerator projects, we'll probably end up having some more hands-on experiences too. Are there other questions or other wonderings about for your projects?
I don't have a question, but one of the ideas I had as far as, and I think someone said, talked about people that are incarcerated.
Oh, yeah.
One way for us, maybe as a region, to reach or help the big goal is, what if we did like a Dream It, Be It, but at a juvenile hall for girls, and it was multiple clubs together? Because I think if that, obviously they're facing an obstacle or something for them at a region level. If anybody wants to jump on that bandwagon, I'm like, yes, let's do this, because it seems something we could do where we're going to actually the goal as a region.
I like that.
That's
Gail?
why Rachel's on the Dream It, Be It committee, Linda. He always has ideas.
Let's go make, I mean, I don't know if they would let us do like the collage, the dream boards, but we could get
Yeah,
them.
so my club did that when our juvenile hall, it's kind of been, they were going to put it out of business, but I don't know if that's still happening. And we did it for several years, and we would take, we only had limited time, and we would go in there with one of those that like the collage of the dream bead thing, and it was very successful, worked very well. But the one of the problems is that, you know, they would say, okay, we'll have 15 girls, and when we got there, there'd be 9 because if they misbehave, they don't get the reward, right? And or they were transferred out to a program and they're no longer there, and it was such a I don't know what the word would be, but the population was in and out constantly that there wasn't a lot of consistency. You know, it's a lot of work, but yeah, that is a group of girls with obstacles, and I just feel that even that just that 1 hour session or something is going to happen.
Well, and that's what the alternative education, it's like the continuation school. They're not obviously, they're not like jail, like, but it's just you're reaching that population, and that's what made me think, like, if we can go to the juvenile halls, and even if we had 22 girls sign up. Sorry, my ADHD kicks in. We had 22 girls sign up, but only 11, I think, showed up because it was on a Friday, and everybody skips on Fridays. So from now on, it's going to be on a Tuesday. But if you only serve 9 girls, you serve 9 girls, and you're serving a population that desperately needs mentors. So it would just be something interesting, but I didn't,
I just looked up Avid for those of you that were asking, and it just says that their mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and career readiness and success in a global society. So
That sounds like something we would care about.
yes.
Loretta.
Just some more numbers, if you'd like. I throw out some more numbers.
Hey, there you go.
Live Your Dream. Live Your Dream. Our region is considered moderate or middle of the pack, not large, not small. Every year, we always come in either 4th or 5th out of all the other regions with Live Your Dream applications given. I mean, Live Your Dream awards given. We always come in either 4th or 5th out of all of them. So we are doing, that's all I could say is we're doing it in our region to come out, because we're always going to fall behind the Philippines. They gave out 198 awards last year. But to come in 5th out of all the other larger regions, we beat out Founder region.
We do so much better than Founder region.
We beat out Sierra Nevada. We beat out a lot of East Coast. We come in 5th. I'm just saying 4th or 5th out of all of SIA regions. So we have that to be proud of, being that we are a lower size region. So we have to look at that too, that we're already doing way above and beyond what another region our size would be doing. And we're going to outdo that this year. I know that. Just by the numbers that I've been receiving from clubs, we're going to outdo that. So I just thought I'd throw in some more numbers. That's all.
I like that. Jan.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit slow on the bandwagon here. Foster care people just came into my mind as a group to reach out to. But then I got to thinking, are we talking foster care kids up to the age of 18? Or the ones that are in like some of the community college programs that are in that in between 18 to 21? Because
it doesn't matter.
That would
both.
be,
I'd say both, because it's hard to get to the juveniles. They're very protective of the juveniles,
well,
but when they're 18 and over.
And I know our community college here has a special program where they work with those students. And that would certainly be a population that we could target. I don't like that word, but anyway, yeah. Okay, so we could do the 18 to 21.
Yes.
Thank you.
Another word, Jan, is service.
Thank you so much, Loretta.
Gonna service that?
I don't
You can read that different ways you want to read it, but
Another odd word.
Strike that from the record.
Yeah. We are being recorded, right?
Yes, we are.
How about
I
just
put-
provide help?
Thank you.
Provide help. There you go.
Voice of reason.
I did put Jackie Schrager's phone number in, shoot, did I do that? Is that right? 215, yes. For some reason it looked wrong, but I'll send that out to clubs as well, and just recommend people watching this because this is it. The conversation's been really, really helpful to me too. Anything else?
I would just second what Beth is saying about contacting Jackie. It has never taken her more than like 2 hours to get back to me if I email her or if you call her. She's just wonderful about answering questions and supporting. And if she isn't the person, she gets you to the right person and all. So
just remember before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our time,
Yes.
yes.
because they are 3 hours ahead of us. So,
Although
Yes.
she has been known to answer emails outside of that time.
oh, emails maybe, yeah, but not
Yeah.
on the phone.
No,
Yeah.
not
A lot of them are working remotely right now
Yeah.
from
Right.
SIA, so they can
Yeah.
respond outside of their hour.
It is also live your dream season. So if she's slower than the 2 hours, you show her some mercy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
If it's a not live your dream question. All right. Well, thank you, Beth, as always.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank all of you. That
And
was
thank-
really fun.
yes. Thank you, everyone, for a lively and good discussion. We're all learning, and so many great ideas that I think even we can consider looking at our region programs as well. So good suggestions there. All righty.
Cool. Thank you.
Everyone, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We
Yes.
will talk to you before then. We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Judy. This was great because
Yeah,
we covered some
really
of this
good.
at the district meetings, but it's so great to hear it again and
Yes,
really
I
flesh
think
it out.
we continue talking about this and bounce ideas off each other. I think that's the best thing we can be doing.
See y'all.
All
Bye.
right.